You're listening to the Tom Green Podcast. This is Tom Green. I had quite the night last night. If you were following on my Instagram story, we did the live podcast. It was a lot of fun. I was taking your calls. It went on for hours and hours and hours. So many hours that I fell asleep on my desk on the live feed. Can you believe it? It actually happened. I'm going to explain a little bit more about how this happened to my guest today, who I'm so excited to have calling into the show, the amazing and incredible Joe Coy, a comedian who has exploded in the world of stand-up in the last couple of years and into just the biggest success in all of comedy, really, performing major stadiums and around the world, and it's just incredible. I'm also happy to be able to call him my friend, and he was nice enough to call and talk to us today, so let's just jump right into it.
Hello.
Hey, Joe, how are you? Good. Thanks for calling, man.
Of course.
I had a bit of a wild night last night.
I saw that, man. Unbelievable. Why'd you pass out? Were you just exhausted? Or
yeah, probably
did
just
you
a
take
little.
some NyQuil?
Yeah, man. Well, no NyQuil. No, maybe I had I was just doing a lot of podcasting. A lot of podcasting. So maybe had a drink or two, maybe, but no big deal.
Yeah, maybe one.
Yeah, but. I've been doing this podcast since I became quarantined here in my home by myself in Los Angeles, having a real good time here. Clearly, but no, it's actually been fun, and appreciate you calling. And I have been doing this late night phone-in show, which last night kind of went for about 3 or 4 hours. I kind of make beats, I make music, and then people call, and I just kind of got real tired, honestly, and I just kind of lay down on the desk at one point, and the next thing I know, I guess I slept for about an hour and a half or something like that, and then I hear a knocking on the window behind me, and it's our good friend Harland Williams, who was alerted to this and came over and woke me up and made sure I was okay. So that's how my day's going.
How did he get up there, though? How did he get up to your window?
So he brought a ladder in his car, and he hopped over a little fence. He hopped over the sort of a wall kind of thing, and he hopped over that. And it's funny because there's the room I'm in, the camera was streaming and was pointing at me, and then behind me is a sliding glass patio door, and then my backyard. And so you just sort of see. And the video's up on YouTube now, and people are razzing me and stuff, and it's kind of funny, I guess. But you see this flashlight coming over the fence, and then this all played out live, and then all of a sudden he walked up and knocked on the door, and you see me wake up, and I'm going, "Who is it? Who is it?" It's just really, really, really crazy. So how are you doing though, Joe? How is your experience with this whole crazy situation we're in right now? Everything fine with you and the family?
When it first broke that we were probably going to be, locked up in our houses for a bit, I went and got my son's mommy, because she lives down the street, and I was just like, you know what, I don't want to go back and forth with the kid. Let's just all stay at my house.
That's nice.
So that way it's easier. It's you know what I mean. We don't have to risk anything. We're all in this together. You know what I mean. And so I ended up having the mommy here, and her mom is here. The grandmother's here. So I basically got I got the whole family here. Even though we're not together, we're together for this whole thing. We've been together the whole time. So it's been great.
That's
great for my son.
Very cool.
It's so weird, Tom. It's I didn't know how much I was really missing when I'm on the road. Those 3 days that we're on the road means a lot, and I didn't know how much I was missing until these 6 weeks that we've been kind of locked up in the house. I'm like, wow, this is actually fun. So this is the one benefit that I will take from this quarantine, that I'm enjoying these weekends with my son, something I took for granted for so long.
You're always touring. As most comedians are on the road a lot, you're on the road as much, if not more, than anybody, I would think. So is this the first time you've gone 6 weeks without doing a show?
Yeah. We had to push everything into the fall. That was kind of crazy. It just sucked because I was really looking forward to the ones that were coming up. I had Radio City Music Hall. That was like a dream gig.
Yeah.
And that was coming up, and I had to push that into the fall. But, I waited so long for it. And it just felt like, I feel like it's just the ripping it away from us, Tom. This damn virus is killing our dreams right now.
Unbelievable.
So
You've had such an explosive couple of years, too. I mean, you've always been doing stand-up for so long, but now be playing in these huge venues. And like you said, was that the first time you have played Radio City Music Hall? Would that have been the first time? Or?
Yeah. That was my first time playing Radio City, and I couldn't wait. I was looking forward to it. I was happy that I got the big ones out of the way before they stopped everything. I got, I had the shows at Forum, and I had the shows at the Chase Arena. So I thank God I didn't have to move those, because that would have killed me.
Yeah, I mean, what's that like playing in the Forum, playing a huge stadium like that? How many people are in the audience for something like that?
We did 2 of them. I sold out 2, and it was 26,000 total.
Wow!
And
that is amazing.
It was nuts, man. And the Chase Arena is in San Francisco. That's just slightly bigger by, I think, 1,000. So it was 28,000 total that we sold at Chase. I did 2 shows there as well, and that was on the same week. So it was just, I'm just happy that was done before it all got locked down, because that would have sucked, man.
Yeah,
but man, it was so much fun. I wish you could come, Tom.
Yeah, I know. I want to come
to one of those
next time. I know. I was out of town when that happened. I saw that. I think I was out of the country actually when that happened. I saw that you had some good acts performed with you. Tiffany Haddish and some other people performed with you, right? Was that right? Am I
didn't.
Getting that right?
That was all unannounced, though.
Yeah.
I didn't put them on the bill.
Yeah,
so
that's
no one
cool.
knew that they were coming. And then Tiffany, as I was driving to the Forum, she FaceTimes me, and she's like, how much time are you giving me? And I'm like, oh, shit, okay.
Wow, really? That's amazing.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, let's go. I had no idea she wanted to go up, and she did about 10 minutes and killed it, man. It was so amazing.
That is so cool.
But I want to do the same with you, Tom, like one of these shows, man.
Oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can't. Let's get this pandemic over with. I want to play the Forum. Come on, man. I'll do the Radio City Music Hall one. I'll do the radio. I'm just joking.
Let's go. I'll walk up.
Yeah, anything you want, Joe. Anything you want. That's incredible. What's it like performing for 20,000 or 15,000 people at a time? I mean, a big stadium like that. Has it changed the rhythm? I mean, you have to wait for the joke to get to the back of the room and bounce back to you, or is it kind of the same thing?
My thing is, I always look at the back of the audience. So, like, I always look at the top balcony. If you watch my specials, I'm always looking up. And the reason why is it's just I feel like if you just make some type of eye connection or engage them, they're in it for the ride. And I do that with the arenas. I look far back. I look all the way up at the top, and I keep my jokes tighter. I get rid of a lot of the fat. I cut the fat out and just get right to it as much as I can, and just keep the energy moving as fast as I can, because you lose them, you'll lose a whole crowd.
Yeah.
The minute you give them an opportunity to get lost, they'll get lost, because it's pretty big. So you got to maintain that energy, man. You got to keep it up.
It's not the late night kind of late show sort of Friday night goofing around, do a little crowd work, messing around with the crowd comedy club show. It's a full on high energy theatrical performance. That must be so exciting.
You got to give it to them. I mean, I still do my crowd work though, Tom. I'll still do it, but even that I make sure that it's tight and fast, and you don't want to sit on somebody for too long reaching for something. If it's not going, you just walk away from it. You got to discipline yourself and just walk away from it sometimes, and get to the next one, because you lose that 300 section. Those guys are like 3 stories up, man. They're done. They're done. The
300 section. Wow. That is, I mean, first of all, congratulations, Joe. I mean, I know how hard you've worked for so many years as a comedian, and to have this thing that happens to so few stand-up comedians, you must be just feeling just high on life right now.
Thank you, man. It's definitely a dream come true, man. You know, I'm such a fan of comedy, and you know, I love stand up since I was 10, and you know, all I watched was comedy. Thank God for Tom Green. You know, what you did changed the game and made it hip and cool for everyone. Like, you know, those kids that were into comedy that wasn't really hip yet. You know, like, I don't know how to explain that, because now, like, stand up is kind of like a hip thing to do, but you know, the 80s and the early 90s, that was still kind of something your parents kind of went and did.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It kind of,
any sense?
It seems like it's gone through some cycles and it's back with a vengeance now. Do you attribute that to social media? I mean, is that?
I attribute it to people like you and you know the young cats that went and changed the style of comedy, the perception of comedy, like
you are too kind.
The limit that you took it to.
You are too kind, Joe.
I'm not kissing your ass because I'm on your show.
Yeah.
I'm being real. You know, like you changed it, bro. You made it. Stand up was such a. I mean, you know, like, you know, there was the regular talk shows, and you either liked it or you didn't, and then there was this option that you and others created, the younger, hipper style, I guess. You know, and you made it hip and cool and fun and different. And that inspired me. I knew that there was an opportunity for me, you know, if I just stuck with it, you know. And it was a long fucking road, Tom. I don't mean to curse, but
yeah, no, you can
know,
swear,
30
man.
years in, it was 30 years, you know. And you know, I remember year 16, I was just like, I wanted to quit, you know.
That's an amazing thing that I think people might not necessarily always understand. I'm sure a lot of people understand that, but probably a lot of people don't understand that. The amount of perseverance that goes into getting to the place that you're at right now. It doesn't happen overnight. 30 years of hitting clubs, and probably in the first few years you were probably just doing mics, and then you move up to the clubs, and then you start touring, and then the places probably started getting a little bigger. But 30 years, that's incredible. That's
yeah, man. You know what's crazy is year 26, Netflix passed on me for a special. They said no, and that's when I really wanted to quit. I was like, "What the fuck am I doing wrong?" Like I was, you know, I felt like I had the resume to be on Netflix. You know, I was selling all these shows, and my hour was tight, and I kept asking them to come see me, and they kept saying no, and they passed on me, and then I literally took my own money out and shot that first special for Netflix on my own.
Yeah, that's.
And if I didn't do that, it would. I don't think I'd be where I'm at right now.
That's so inspiring. But you know, it connected so huge. How can you define that? Can you define that spark, that magic? Or I mean, obviously, you know what you're doing, but can you define how that connection happens, where it just sort of blows up like a tinderbox like that?
It was crazy, Tom. Like the minute that Netflix special dropped, first of all, I couldn't believe they took it. After I shot it, you know, we shopped it around, and then we finally brought it into Netflix. And even though they said no, all of a sudden they made an offer. And I remember just crying, just like, Jesus, man, they made me jump through hoops for this shit. And no disrespect to Netflix, God bless them, thank God.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But literally the minute, I'm not even joking, Tom, the minute it dropped, when they aired it, I was sold out for the whole year. I just remember the tour that we put on sale maybe a week after the special dropped. All the dates were completely sold out. There was one show that we did in Hawaii that went on sale, and it sold out like 5 minutes. And then the venue called me, and they were like, "Can we add another one?" And then that sold out in 5 minutes. And then they kept calling us back, adding. Next thing you know, we're at 13 straight shows in Hawaii.
Jeez.
And it was just crazy.
I'll hang out now.
Crazy. And I've never, and mind you, before that special dropped, I could barely sell maybe 900 tickets in Hawaii.
Wow.
Maybe 1,000 at the most. And here it is a year later, and I sold 24,000 tickets.
Wow.
And it was nuts.
And I guess you must tour internationally for sure right now. And is that, are you going all over the world with when we're back into comedy?
Yeah, this was the world tour itself. I mean, I was on the latter part of the tour. I was almost done. I only had about 40 shows left, like 3 more months left or so. And so we already did, we already did Europe and we already did Asia. And so those were all done. It was crazy to play Australia or go to Singapore and then the Philippines. It was nuts.
You must
I
have
couldn't believe it, Tom. Like, I keep pinching myself, bro.
Do you have an insane following in the Philippines? Do they just, they must be so proud?
Yeah, that one was crazy. When I went to the Philippines, the dollar there is, the people don't have that much money, but they when they like something, they entertain, they love entertainment. You know what I mean? So they work hard for the money, and I couldn't believe that it was an arena. We played an arena there, so it was. I think we ended up selling 14,000 tickets in Manila, which I could not believe, man. It was unbelievable.
What is it about making comedy out of real life situations with family that connects so well with people? I mean, when my bit that really popped for me on MTV was when I painted my parents' car and I painted their house plaid, and my parents would get mad at me, and I think people really related to that because it was, real.
Dude,
and it was my parents.
I
and I was
that.
So when you do, is there something that really that you can explain about that?
Yeah, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, it's okay.
What I love the most about what you did with your mom, God damn it, dude, I love that. Every time you fucked with your mom. But what I love the most is how, as a kid, with an immigrant mother, and just trying to find my identity in America.
Yeah.
My mom and dad were divorced. My dad is white. He moved to Phoenix. It's just this immigrant mom, you know what I mean? With this half white, half Asian kid trying to find his own identity, trying to find a culture to latch onto and identify with. When you're looking for something like that at that age, and then you see somebody like you do what you did with your mom, bro, it was over with, because that's exactly what I did with my mom. Like, not to the extreme, but it was just like, I was relating to you through a mom. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, because everybody everybody thinks about the relationship with their parents and draws something from it. So when you tell all those stories and you do the accents and all the cultural references, it just really must connect with people in such a big way. All cultures, right? Not just Filipino. All cultures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at, because it was like, my mom's Filipino.
Yeah.
But when I saw you do that, then I'm like, no, mom is just mom. It doesn't matter what ethnicity your mom is. It's just, your mom's a fucking mom. She's going to hate her kid no matter what the fuck ethnicity is. She's going to act the same way. She's going to do the same thing. And I think that's what it was. Like, I understood that, like, when I talk about my mom, everyone's going to get it. I didn't have to sell it to just Filipinos. Like, you know what I mean? Like, You don't have to be Canadian to understand that this is funny and this is just a mom being a mom in this situation. So I just had to figure out the way to talk about my mom in a way that people are just like, okay, she's just a mom. And she just happens to be Filipino. And it took me a while to figure that out, Tom, a long, long time. Like, I didn't talk about my mom until about maybe 15 years in my stand-up. Then I started talking about my mom, and even that was kind of like, I didn't want to do it. Jamie Masada kept threatening me. Jamie Masada was like, "You got to talk about your mom, buddy. That's so funny." Because I told him about how my mom was playing Wii, the whatever that Wii, Nintendo Wii, with my son, and I was reenacting it for him upstairs at the Laugh Factory. Because I was genuinely just laughing, because I've never seen my mom play a video game before, and she was playing with my son, and she was talking shit, playing tennis with my son, and talking shit, and I'm doing it for Jamie, and Jamie's like, "Oh, buddy, you got to go on stage and do that, buddy. It's so funny." And I was like, no, I can't do that. They're not going to get it. He's like, "What are you talking about, buddy? Just do what you're doing right now. It's so funny, buddy. Go." And
you should do that on stage. You should do Jamie Masada on stage too.
So true.
Well, you have such
made me scrap all my material and make me talk about my mom. He would literally move me to the front of the show. The show would have Dane Cook, Harlan Williams, Bob Saget, and then me talking about my mom. You know what I mean? Like, he would literally force me to do those bits. Like he was like, don't talk about anything else. The minute you go on stage, tell everyone about your mom and just talk about her, and then say goodnight. He fucking made me do that shit all the time, Tom.
That's so cool. And did you not instantly sort of realize how explosive that would become? Did you sort of you said you took a little while to work that material, or?
No, it kind of happened right away.
Oh yeah.
Like it just took off.
Yeah.
He was right. He was right about that. That weed joke just blew up, and then I realized that I knew that's the way I had to present my mom without telling people you have to be Filipino to get it. I knew I just had to explain the situation and talk about what she's doing, and then just become the character, and people will relate. It didn't matter what ethnicity you are; you were just going to relate to it.
That's so inspiring to hear that for any comedian. That's inspiring to me to hear that. Like you can be doing stand up for so long, and then you just find some little twist, some angle, and it just completely like just kind of erupts. I mean, that really, people who are out there doing stand-up and, not even people that are just getting started, people that have been doing it for years could look at that and go like, wow, almost especially people that have been doing it for years. Because you said you're doing it for 15 years and then all of a sudden you switched that bit. That's so cool.
Yeah.
You've got such a close relationship with I love that commercial that you did for Samuel Adams.
Oh, thank you.
That was,
Thank you.
I'm almost going to tear up right now just thinking about it. I mean, that's a tear-jerking commercial. And you teared up in the commercial too. It's a beautiful commercial.
Yeah, it's so crazy, Tom, because I didn't think I was gonna.
Uh-huh.
And then when I started saying the words, I realized, this woman sacrificed her whole life just so I can do this dream job. This, if she lived in the Philippines, there's no way I could become a comedian in the Philippines. You have to be in America to pick such a crazy job like that. You know what I mean? Or Canada.
Yeah.
That's where opportunity is abundant. So for her to sacrifice and just pick up and leave as a young girl and move to America where she knew nobody and start a family and then let me do what I did for a career is just like, it really hit me hard. I didn't really realize how much she sacrificed for me until they said, start talking. Because they literally had no script. They were like, just thank her. Tell her from the bottom of your heart.
I would encourage everybody not only to go drink a Sam Adams, but to go look at this spot. It's called Toast Someone, and it's on YouTube. Yeah. And it is, I think, one of the most, if not the most authentic moment I've ever seen in a commercial of any kind whatsoever. I mean, was there sort of a silence in the room after you finished that take? They must have.
Yeah.
The crew and the director and the producer and your mom and everybody and yourself, you must have just all sort of stopped and said, whoa, what did we just capture here? Because that was really incredible.
That's funny you said that, Tom. That's exactly what the guy said that was directing it. Right when we stopped, when I toasted her, he just goes, I think that's the one, man. He goes, that's exactly what we wanted to see and capture. And I did not expect that, man. I really thought I was just going to toast my mom and be funny with her, you know what I mean? And it was just going to be a funny toast. And then it just hit me. I just started crying.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. Do they give Emmys for commercials? Or I'm telling you, that commercial is the best commercial I've ever seen in my life of any kind. Incredible. Oh. And I
love you, Tom.
I love you too, man. Yeah, you've always been so generous with your time and friendship. Whenever we see each other, we've always had. Remember, we got Chinese food that time, and was it Montreal?
Yes,
with Eliza Schlesinger and Jay Farrow, and you were so gracious and picked up the tab, and it was a big tab too. I think we got the lobster.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy, Tom, is I went to the Laugh Factory, and I haven't been there in so long. I think it was 10, 11 years or even longer, maybe, 13 years since I've been to the Laugh Factory. And, Jamie and I had a little bit of a fallout, but we're good now. And that was kind of like my comeback. And my son has never, ever, ever seen me at the Laugh Factory.
Oh, yeah.
And the last time he was at the Laugh Factory, he was a baby. He was maybe, 13 months maybe at the most.
Yeah.
And I sit him upstairs and, when I performed, Tiffany Haddish would babysit him, you know what I mean? She would watch him.
Yeah.
And oh God, so then it was longer than, because my son's 6. So that was 16 years ago. So and Tiffany would watch when I'm on stage, and then I'd go back up, and then she'd go back on stage, and I'd watch my son. And that's literally my life, working at Nordstrom. And so my son never ever seen me perform at the Laugh Factory. And we were just driving one day, and I go, "Hey, you want me to go up on stage?" And at the Laugh Factory, and he was like, oh, it was a school night too. And we walked in, and you were on stage.
Yeah,
and
I remember.
I thought that was the coolest. That was the coolest. I was so happy that my son got to see, one of my inspirations on stage, and he got to see it. No, really, Tom, he got to see that. He got to see you go up, and then I got to go up and follow you, and that was the show he got to see, and it was kind of cool because when I was his age, you know what I mean, I was watching stand-up comedy and wanting to be, that comic, just to be at a comedy club and to be able to share that stage with you was just amazing to share that with my son.
That was awesome.
Long. I'm sorry.
I loved it. I got to meet your son. I sat with him while you were on stage, and it was incredible to watch you. So fun, and that was a hot crowd that night too. I remember that night very clearly.
Yeah.
And then
you crushed it.
It's funny, man, because like. I follow you on the Instagram, and you and your son do a lot of funny bits, really funny bits together. That must be fun, right?
Oh, it's so crazy, man. One, Tom, just getting a kid to do anything it takes hours to motivate my son to do something.
seems pretty good. I like the opening, the sitcom intro that you did.
I love that. I love that, man. It's so funny.
Yeah.
And he loves doing it. It's just motivating him to do it. But it's crazy. People keep hitting him up. It's left and right. Like, people recognize him on the street because of it. It's, he's become this character now, and people love him. And it's fun working with him.
Yeah.
It's fun sharing these moments with him, man.
Absolutely. It must be amazing. Well, Joe, I appreciate you calling. It's as crazy times we're in. Sounds like you've got a good bunch of people to hang out with there, and the family's there, and that's really nice. I'm happy for you, so happy for you, and hopefully we can get through this thing soon enough and get everyone back to work in this country and around the world, and people can get healthy sooner rather than later, I hope, and then you can get back to getting up on stage and killing it at Radio City Music Hall and in stadiums all around the world. It's incredible.
Thank you, Tom, man.
Yeah.
You're amazing, by the way, so thank you for this.
Yeah.
We got to work now. We got to do something together ASAP.
I love that.
By the way, that dancing video, you got to do more, man.
Yeah.
I sent that out.
That's right.
I was dying laughing watching that. So
yeah,
do it again, please.
It's funny, well, it's funny because I did the dancing to Michael Jackson the other night. That's right. And then you sent the story or the like or something like that. And
yes.
And then a bunch of my friends were really kind of like that, the dancing. And so this morning, Fred Durst, Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit, he's a friend of mine too. And he always, whenever I've done a dance, which is a couple of times now, he he encourages me to do more dancing. Now you too also. So this morning I actually did another dance because I was on my Instagram story and Fred popped onto the story. And I ended up doing a morning slam dance, punk rock, slam mosh pit dance by myself to Limp Bizkit this morning with Fred commenting in the comments as it went along. So I'm losing my mind up here, Joe. I'm losing my mind up here. But so.
Oh, man. Yeah. It'll be all over soon, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll be all over soon.
Absolutely. We'll get through this, man. Hey, I appreciate it, Joe. You're the best, man. You're the greatest. I appreciate it.
Too.
Congrats. And we'll talk to you later, okay?
All right. Bye, Tom.
That was the incredible Joe Coy. Of course, Joe will be performing as soon as we finish this pandemic. Go see him. And if you want to call me and see how I'm doing fine. I'm doing great. I'm having fun. I'm having so much fun on this podcast that I'm doing these late night podcasts that go late, and I'm taking calls. If you want to watch live, you can watch on my Instagram story. I'll go live, usually a little after sunset Los Angeles time. Sometimes I'll make beats hip-hop beats and take calls, and it's really casual. Tonight's not going to be as casual as last night, though. Let's put it that way. I'm not going to stay up so late that I actually fall asleep on my desk and have my friend Harland Williams come wake me up on a live broadcast. No, I'm not going to do that. But I am having a great time with you guys. I really appreciate it. I'm having so much fun quarantining with all of you around the world, and you can follow me on Instagram at Tom Green, follow me on Twitter at Tom Green Live, follow me on Facebook, and subscribe to this podcast everywhere that you listen to podcasts, where you're listening now or other places. It's also on YouTube, and we're going to be putting cameras on it soon, so you'll be able to watch the show with cameras visually while you listen to it. It'll be like a TV show. It'll be like a radio show. It'll be a podcast. What is it? I don't know what it is, but it's going to be so much fun. And that's youtube.com/Tom Green. Find me on the web. Come hang out with me. I'm at home talking and interacting with all you guys, and I love it. And thanks again to Joe Coy for calling today. I really appreciate it. So nice to have incredible geniuses like Joe Coy just calling in to shoot the shit with me on this podcast. I'm happy that I'm able to let you guys hear these conversations. I feel very lucky. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you soon. Okay? Be safe, everyone.